Just like old times, huh? I really had it all processed this morning. I woke up, I was having my breakfast, and I went, yo, we're actually getting something new for Fallout today. I knew it was coming, but when it really registered, like, yo, I'm an hour away from something brand new in the Fallout world, I couldn't believe it. And then here I was a half hour before the trailer went live. They had this please stand by countdown, and I was like hunched over the computer, just like the Fallout 4 days. And it gave me that brief moment there to reflect on how special this series is to me, not only professionally, career-wise, but just as a fan. Fallout is my favorite thing ever. And then there was that moment of reflection that turned to, what if this is bad? You know, I tried to root myself in reality a bit, like prepare yourself for the worst. Everything we've seen, leaks and Vanity Fair reports wise, has been great. But what if this is bad? And so I just prepped myself. I went in as unbiased as I possibly could. Okay, let's see this trailer for what it is. And within 20 seconds, I was smiling ear to ear. I even started to tear up a little bit just by the nature of Fallout. And I'll get into that. Of course, we'll do a separate video fully breaking down the trailer, but you know me, I need to get all the emotion out, just tell you how I'm feeling about things, what I'm most excited about, and then we'll do the full in-depth analysis, of course. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into Fallout, you can say it now, TV shows, Fallout games, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing. We love Fallout here. Okay, so for me, it was like 20 seconds in, that music hits. And when that music hit, I literally felt a physical reaction to what was happening. Like, I went, oh, this is Fallout. And my skin started to tingle, the hair stood up on end, this sense of pure childlike excitement welled up within me. The tears got ready to flow. I was like, man, I'm sick in the head. I love this franchise through and through. What did I like most about this trailer? I gotta say that it's probably the way they captured the dark, twisted humor, like dog meat with a hand in his mouth, while also having those moments of, oh man, that was really cool. You can also see that Vault 33 goes to shit pretty quickly. I imagine what we saw in this teaser trailer was all episode 1 content, because we saw the pre-war, we saw the ghoul in action, we saw gore. That made me really happy too. I was a little bit worried since all of the screen grabs we saw had nothing to do with violence, and I say that not as someone who just loves the good old violent video game, but Fallout is set in a dark, gritty world, and part of that is the ridiculousness of its gore, right? The ability to use the bloody mess perk, take one shot at someone and they blow to bits. It's hilarious, but it also, in a weird way, captures how tragic this universe is. So I was happy when the ghoul was popping off that we were seeing blood smear everywhere, but then it went to someone spitting out coffee. To me, that was just a perfect capturing of what Fallout is. That up and down emotional swing is what makes the series so special. And to see it captured in a TV show, just what a relief so far. You know, I remember reading that Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda had declined all these Fallout movie and TV show offers for the better part of a decade now, probably longer. And to see them finally settle on one, I was talking with my friends this morning, I was thinking, this has to be good, right? Because if they've declined for so long and then they settle on one and it's bad, like there has to be something within this idea that speaks to them. And you can see it. Like there were little details in the show that to me just immediately popped out. Like it's one thing seeing a Yao Guai in the video game, and then when you see it taking out a Brotherhood of Steel Knight, and you see him like getting dragged, and those things are like tanks, by the way, and you see like the disgusting mutations on the body of the Yao Guai, that was that moment of like, oh right, Fallout is gross. And for me, I think the primary gross creature that is in Fallout 3 in New Vegas that I look at and I just get skeeved out is probably the Centaur. And so to see like even a common Yao Guai is like nasty looking, a new layer visually to the world that I really wasn't prepared for. And I was so happy with how I was feeling. I was like, oh, I'm reacting to these things that I kind of know and love in new ways. I'm also really excited for them to explore the pre-war. You know, you look at Fallout 4, and one of the biggest missed opportunities that we've learned now there's cut content attached to it is that pre-war section. I think it accomplishes what it sets out to do, and it doesn't hold you back too long from getting into the action in a fresh playthrough. I think though that the game overall would have really benefited, especially on that first playthrough, from a more extensive time in the pre-war. And there were reports that like we were supposed to go to the park and enjoy time with your family, and then you go back to the house and then the bombs fall, right? So you get some time to settle into the life of your character. Maybe they didn't want to define your character too much, but we didn't get to see a ton of the pre-war. We get to hear about it, but now in this show, like you can see Walter Goggins on his horse and the bombs start dropping everywhere. And he is our conduit back to the pre-war. So I hope this is something that they go back to often, only because I feel like that is the part of Fallout that we really have learned a lot about, but we don't get to see it, live it often. And so I'm really crossing my fingers that they hit a home run on that. In the terms of set and costumes and creatures and even the robots, man, they nailed it. They nailed it. Like when you see Mr. Handy, boom, they nailed it. They nailed the crazy propaganda that you see around the world. It's interesting to see a West Coast themed Fallout game after so long. When you think about it, it's been since Fallout New Vegas that we got something along those lines. So to see a more modern take on a westernized Fallout game is really exciting as well. So this just looks phenomenal from top to bottom. Now I will address the elephant in the room, which is there's that one WTF moment in this trailer. And no, I'm not talking about the assault rifle, although I don't think it was shown in this trailer, but I'm not talking about that, which I know has been the talk of the Fallout community. I am talking about Cyclops Overseer. Yeah, little strange, little out of pocket. I think some people who are like, what the heck is that? Like that can't be in a Fallout game, might be overreacting a bit. And I'm saying this as a Fallout fan who's very protective of the franchise. We may be being a little overprotective. I say that because Fallout 76 has mutations, right? And they're granted cards that you equip. You don't physically see them, but your character does mutate. And my guess is they are materializing that now. I also think by this point in the timeline, with the radiation and the crazy things that could slip through, this may be the least crazy thing you see in a Fallout world. Like, you see this one creature with giant pores all over its body, different tentacles on its body, and we're like, yeah, that's Fallout. And then a dude with one eye, we're like, what is that? You can't have that in our world. So I'm not trying to get overly defensive on behalf of it. Again, this is my raw reaction, so I haven't taken a ton of time to really sink into my thoughts, but my initial reaction is, when I saw it during the trailer, I was like, what was that? But after thinking about it for 5 minutes, I'm thinking, like, if that's even the most of our problems as it stands right now, pretty good showing when you compare it to other adaptations that happen. You look at like Resident Evil, you look at even where The Witcher has ended up, you look at all these adaptations and how quickly they go south. And so I think if the worst we have is a Cyclops, that could present some interesting looking human characters beyond if you will, the ghouls, which were once human, that Fallout really hasn't been able to shift toward. And so I'm kind of open to that because I'm also looking at it through the lens of this takes place after Fallout 4. So whatever game comes after this needs to respect what Fallout, the show, had set up. And that, again, is a very dangerous weapon to give someone who's not a game creator. But right now, I've yet to see anything that's really of concern. And so maybe in the next game, we see different physical mutations on our characters, and I think if you gamify that, people are gonna love it. So I don't know. I mean, I think of the Vault Boy image from the GOAT exam where you literally see like a hand coming out of his stomach. I just think like, okay, this has kind of already been a part of the DNA of the series. We've just never seen it visualized. So that's my, if you would, open-minded take on Cyclops, bro. But otherwise, I mean, everything I saw, down to the vault suits and even like the backpacks that they wear, perfect. Like you could tell that the game creators were involved, at least on a visual front. And so yeah, you can see very much it's this melding of like old Fallout. They were doing promotions for this trailer over on Twitter, and they were using the old Galaxy News promotional material from like Fallout 1 and 2, which made me really happy. But then you look at the wastes and you think of Fallout 1, 2, New Vegas, but then some of the costume design is 4. So look, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I'm not gonna lie. I was clearly excited going into it, but then I cooled off real quick before the trailer. I was like, okay, this could be horrible, and you got to brace your heart for that, because then you'll just get really mad and make like a KOTOR remake style video. But no, like what I saw here, wonderful. And as I sit down and go through the trailer for an in-depth analysis, no doubt that I will be extremely pleased with what's there. So yeah, I just had to get these thoughts off my chest and just let you all know how I'm feeling. And I'm really excited to hear how you're feeling, because I can't believe it. We're talking about new Fallout things here at the end of the year, and it's only a couple months away now. April 12th is when the show drops on Amazon Prime. Like I said, we'll be doing episode reviews. I'll remind you a number of times as we get there. But again, yeah, we'll be doing episodic reviews as they release. And I'm just counting down, man. I mean, it's really cool also to see the reaction online, because I know I'm a huge Fallout fan. So when I was getting ready to do this video, I was like, well, let's see what everyone else is saying, because I'm curious if I'm just on this island or not. And it seems like, generally speaking, a lot of people really digging what is happening here. And I'm curious as the, and I say this with all due respect, the lore geeks dive into the show, what they're going to fish out and deem as a problem, because then that's where we can evaluate and see what they got right, what they truly got wrong. So that's how I'm feeling right now. Really, really love what I'm seeing for the Fallout TV show. Cannot wait. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts down below. Take excellent care of yourselves. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, consider following me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.